Whoever said that the Players is golf's fifth major obviously never heard of the Vancouver Open. It's been won 3 separate times by Vancouver local and PGA Tour winner Adam Hadwin, and I was thrilled this past weekend to be able to participate in the amateur division. And how cool is it that Cameron, one of the channel's subscribers, volunteered to come out and help me film the round. Subscribe yourself to make sure you see the rest of the tournament. I was competing in the flight of handicaps 2 through 9, and hoping to put together 2 good performances at LANGARA and McCleary in order to qualify for the final day at Fraserview. We're starting on the back 9 at LANGARA, and just a few days ago you saw me fire an 81 here, and I'm certainly hoping for better than that today. But the second shot of the day is a borderline shank, so on the very first hole we're going to do some scrambling around looking for a par. That wedge was hit to only 5 feet, but I couldn't quite find that putt and have to take a bogey here. That was not hit particularly well at all, but fortunately it's still in the fairway. I drew the 4-wood here, and from a terrible side hill lie I'm unable to feather a 9-iron to the front of the green. Then we blade a chip through some thick rough, and once again we're in thick wet rough and can't get the ball on the green. 3 over through 2 is not exactly how we planned on starting this tournament, and with an awkward number here, I decide to back off of a 4 hybrid. The ball plugs in a bunker. That was actually a great effort from where I was. And let's hope to drain a 15-footer and get some momentum going. Nope. 4 over through 3. Smart Golf on this hole says play a hybrid and then a wedge. And my hybrid kicked from the right side of the fairway to the middle, and this landed absolutely perfectly for a good look at bird. We don't drop it, but we're thrilled to finally make our first par of the day. That's a really weak effort on the tee of 5 here. And I was trying to just make sure this ball got on the green and not get too clever with this chip. This putt's okay, but here comes tournament golf. That's the shortest putt I think I've ever missed on the channel. That's another wipey fade that leaves me a longer number in than I'd like to have on this hole, and that's just a really brutal approach shot. Even this wedge is somewhat bladed, but it is going to work out. And lo and behold, we finally make our first putt. Finally a solid golf shot, about 250 down the middle here. And I don't even wait for the green to clear here from 250 because I don't quite have eyes on making it to the front of the green, but lo and behold I do. This long eagle putt has a ton of break, and it might not be evident on video, but this course's defense really is the greens. And I'm happy with a 2-putt birdie here. That's a really lousy drive that's going to leave me in a fairway bunker about 160 out, and I catch that shot a bit fat. And that's another terrible golf shot. And I thought this pitch would crest this hill and get close to the flag, but watch it roll all the way back down here. And I'll have about 20 or 25 feet for bogey now. Close but no cigar. And we follow up the birdie with a double. After the practice round, I learned that anything up the left side is good here, and I am left with the wedge in, and I fire it to about 4 or 5 feet before tidying up for a birdie. If those 9 holes felt a little hectic to watch, I promise you they felt even more hectic playing them. Jumping on the tee of a tournament at 8 a.m. with no warm-up is definitely a bit nerve-wracking, and I hit more than a dozen bad shots, made 3 doubles and 2 birdies, and by the end of 9 holes my head is spinning a bit. And I was trying to calm myself down before heading back to the first tee to play the next 9. A lesson learned from the practice round here was just hit hybrid wedge here. Good hybrid, good wedge, and I'm finally calming down a bit. This green seemed to run faster than the ones on the front, and I am able to make a 2-putt here. This is my 3rd time playing this hole on the channel, and all 3 times I've hit that drive, and then that pitch, And sometimes I make the 10-footer there, sometimes I don't. I really chose the right time to hit my best drive of the day here. And for the second time in as many par 5s, we are going to be putting for eagle. The eagle putt here is really delicate. It breaks hard off that hill before curling towards the pin. And the lag putt is a good effort there, and we'll have our second 2-putt birdie. One of 2 very tough par 4s on the front 9. Hitting a good drive here certainly helps. I'm aiming for the middle of the green and actually get it to the right quadrant of the green. And this is definitely the toughest putt of the day. It breaks about 15 feet after cresting the hill. And it's a really good lag putt and a good 2-putt par. I didn't get all of this drive, but fortunately it winds up in the middle of the fairway. And the nerves are right back with the shank. And unfortunately that ends up being the turning point of this round. Because after airmailing the green with this wedge, and after having hit so many great lag putts, this one is poor and gets left above the hole still. And I can't find that putt. And we'll have to settle for a double. I mentioned in my last video that this drive is tighter than it appears, and you'll see that come into play here. I'm stuck coming out sideways here. And the plan now is just wedge it on the green and get out with the bogey. But with another downhill lag putt, I just give the green a bit too much respect. And for the second time in as many holes, we're going to use the flat stick 3 times and settle for a double bogey. This is the hardest hole on the course. And again, it starts with a good drive. And after hitting so many terrible irons, I decide to lay off a 5 hybrid here. I actually hit it skinny and pretty terribly, but it does get to the back of the green. And I decide that this time I'm not leaving a downhill putt above the hole. And I do manage a par. This is the easiest hole on the golf course, but not when you keep hitting irons like this. That chip isn't terrific either. And it's not awesome having to settle for bogey here. Smart Golf on the final hole says take hybrid, but I chunk faded it to a pretty lousy spot. And here I want no part of the pin tucked over the bunker, and I'm aiming for the middle of the green, but it comes up a bit short before blading our final chip of the day. And with this downhiller, I think this shot was inevitable. But we'll end the day on a high note by at least making bogey here. I've played a little bit of tournament golf in the past, but quite honestly, I'm not sure if I've ever been as uncomfortable over the ball as I was Friday at LANGARA. Starting on the very first hole, an awkward shank was a bad way to begin a golf tournament, and I never really settled in throughout the day. It showed on the scorecard with 5 double bogeys, 3 birdies, and basically everything in between. The differential at the end of the day is definitely not what I was hoping for, but at least we're not out of it. I know that if I can flirt with 80 or presumably break 80 tomorrow at McCleary, that I'll still have a reasonable shot at qualifying for day 3. Stay tuned, because I promise the next round is quite a bit better than this one.